Good evening, everyone, to Cockpit Racing, to the finale here in Abu Dhabi. First open in 2009 with a circuit of 5.554 kilometers with 29 laps following after this qualifying session. We are yet to see a spectacle. Later on, we have one qualifying session, Q1, 20 minutes, 80 minutes, we're already half a minute in, so it's 20 at the top left, but I'm not alone in the commentary box. Today joining me is Lotus.
Hello everyone, I'm so thankful to be with you on this beautiful evening at the grand finale, as Clem Foxy said.
Of course, as it's a finale, the championship has already been decided. The Mercedes crew has already taken it 2 rounds ago, and in the drivers' standings it was the Mercedes driver, who's currently not here either, but I can tell you the Mercedes driver of, pardon me, telling you right now, the Mercedes driver of Chris Sniper has taken it away as well, but sadly they won't be joining us for tonight's grand finale with a 19-car grid. We still have lots of action to go through, so let's have a look on how this will go on.
Yeah, of course, it is very weird actually for Chris not to be with us because, well, he's actually the champion, so it would be nice if he'd show up. But of course, we do understand some maybe private stuff or work stuff could get in the way when it comes to sim racing. But right behind him is actually Andrew, which is a very, very young driver. He's very experienced, but very young too, looking at the league. But, well, I'm happy to see him there because that's actually such a good thing to see such a young driver compete and have fantastic results with drivers who are much more experienced.
With, of course, the Cake Salvers being so close behind as well, we have the next season could come up to be quite an enticing one, as of course the Ferrari drivers also we're not far away from the Mercedes crew as well. The next season will be in F1 25 later this year, so something to stay tuned forwards as well. It will be still Friday night, so this is just one final goodbye on this game as well. Of course, there's been many complaints about the game. Sadly, of course, the Codemasters and EA makers of this game have made some mistakes, but let's see how F1 25 will be for next season. We have some cars gone out for the hot lap. It is Petrocam in the Haas, Mitrandir in the Williams, Captain Tinas in the Aston Martin, Gerardo in the McLaren, Frankie in the Red Bull, Vichamin in the Aston Martin, and in the back there's a second Haas of no assists out as well.
I have a question for you actually. I've been wondering, what do you think about F125 from the videos that we've seen so far?
I've heard more than just from the videos. F1 25 is going to be a fantastic game, as of course the handling physics will again be revamped, and of course many more parts of the game will be revamped as well, of course, with the career mode and other smaller stuff. Something to be looked forward to, but the big thing that people have been talking about is the physics model, and let's hope that this time in 25 they have gotten it on point. But I heard it's going to be a big difference from F1 24, as going back to the subject at hand, the Haas of Petrocam has gone currently provisional pole position with 1:23.9, beating Lewis Hamilton's lap record by about 10 seconds. Of course, the lap record still stands from 2019, where the track was not as slipstreamed as it is today, with the turn 5 hairpin being a 3-corner complex, and the turn 9 hairpin being also a 5-corner complex.
Of course, as we know, it is actually easier for the sim racers to beat the track records from the real drivers. Well, not only because it is in sim racing, so you have no feeling that any slightest mistake can actually make you crash and do something to you, like a serious injury. But also, I believe sim racing is a lot easier because you're not actually in the car, and well, you have that sense of comfort too. So, well, that's about it. But pole position actually have changed. So now it is Ferrari and FPM 21. After that is still Petrocam with 1:23.927.
As we heard before, the times will beat the lap records by a bit. Of course, the cars are about 4 to 5 seconds faster than they are in real life. That is because, of course, equal performance on top of also the sim just having a bit of a different physics than we would expect in real life. But as we said, the last lap record was done in 2019, where the track was just a little bit longer as well. A lot of corners have been taken away. If you see now following the racing board up towards turn 5, here if you see on the left hand side there will be a chicane that will not be taken this year and in further years, and that already cuts down about 3 seconds down, and with then the second hairpin of turn 9 being a long left hander, it's crazy to think that a few years ago there was about 5 corners in there.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty weird that the track record haven't been actually broken. But back to the race, we are with Diego Sim Driver going smoothly through the corners. A bit of smoke there, probably from the tires locking up, but no bigger mistakes as we can see now. So I think he's driving pretty smoothly for now. He doesn't seem to be in any trouble of the car.
As we see currently hot lapping around Q1, only one qualifying session as well, so it's called Q1, it is the full qualifying here. Early on in the session, not many hot laps, fast laps will be done, but it's going to be later on in the session where the track will be fully green. Of course, also the drivers will be more confident in the car as a practice could have been done till now, but some drivers do have a bit of issues, also private life matter, where they can only attend to these races, so all these laps they're doing currently on track will also be count as practice, and the banker laps that have been put in at the start of the session will be most definitely be beaten closing in near the end of the session. Of course, we're currently 8 minutes in out of a full 18 minutes, so we're not even halfway through the session, and I can already see the times are drastically improving for the 1:23.9 that we had before to 1:23.4 that the Ferrari got.
I am actually very interested in Mercedes. How will they actually do today? Because as we see, Kamikaze, he hasn't actually driven from the pits yet. He hadn't done a single lap, so that can be a trouble. But, well, Mercedes is still leading the championship no matter what. He can actually not finish the race and he will be at the podium, so that is pretty fantastic to hear when you're a driver. No matter what, you have the podium. So his situation is pretty calm for now, but I'm still very, very interested how he does. For now, Ferrari is still on the podium on this qualification, but P2 has Woolward with 23.5 seconds. Still, he hasn't actually fired his car yet. We've seen Aston Martin off the track, as well as, if I remember correctly, RB de Nocevo, but I'm not really sure. I'm sure I've seen Aston Martin way above the track.
I believe also in qualifying you need to give space to the fast drivers behind. Of course, penalties can be taken away. As you see the Racing Bull there, pulling off to the right hand side. There's a bit of a battle going on between the Aston Martin of Captain Teenless and the Red Bull of Frankie, battling into turn 9. Interesting to see that, but now the Red Bull backs out, leaving back the Racing Bull behind. There's a Haas about to cross the line. I believe there is Petrocam going through to start their lap. Up in front is also an Aston Martin and a Haas who are currently also about to start the lap. But the car we're currently on, Captain Teenless, is gone currently on their hot lap as the battery is about to... Interesting to see the battery has been depleted about 4 corners before the end. But there we go, crossing down 128.0. does not improve on their current time and stays there in P14. 5 cars who have not completed a lap yet. Interesting to see there. Of course, there is, I believe, 3 qualifying bans for now, with the penalty points being higher than the allowed, and so resulting in a qualifying ban. But it being the finals round of the season, not big of an issue, as of course most of the points have already been taken. In the midfield, there's still some battles that could go on, but we'll keep an eye out on that if it does come to that. But so far, the league, the standings are pretty set in stone for how they are into the ending of last round.
I actually think it's the first time when the drivers, like almost all of the drivers, showed up, because the only person missing is... Yeah, the only person missing is actually Chris Sniper. But nothing will change even if Andrew will win. So Chris has the crown for now. You can see the Kicksauber actually going into the pit lane. He has done only 2 laps, so maybe he's seen some issues with the car. Now we're watching no assist, which is actually a pretty good driver, I must say. He drives with Petrocam. Yeah, the commentators curse as always, you know. You say, oh, he's a pretty good driver, then he crashes. That's pretty no great thing to say actually when you're a commentator. Now we're with, who is that? Diego Sim Racer. I really like to see Red Bull improve because, well, as you know, probably I'm a big Red Bull fan, but of course, there is no such a thing that I say that Red Bull is better because it's Red Bull. But yeah, I really like to see Red Bull drivers improve. PRL Motori Perez has actually improved in about 3 places. So that's really good for him in only 1 lap, so that is too great. I'm really interested about his hot lap because, well, he can maybe jump to maybe 12, P12, maybe even more.
Yeah, so I believe now, and currently coming into 5 minutes before the end of the session, many outlaps, and oh dear, the house completely not taking the final corner there. Was an improvement, but invalidated right then and there. That was quite a weird mistake to happen, and I believe something has happened on there. Taking the next corner flat out. Has the Sims rig, the pedals maybe moved themselves, lodged themselves in a way where he can't hit the brakes? That's hopefully not what has happened. 5 minutes left in the session. Important 5 minutes to maybe see how the last race the starting grid for the last race can shape up. As of course we heard a bit of information as well from Lotus there with the midfield drivers and who could maybe take the top spot. Of course, the fan favorites are not really here. We have a lot of replacement drivers joining in today, as we see Wildwood, for example. Not one driver we have seen this season in the racing board taking P2, and so in P5 there's Martin as well. We have quite a few drivers jumping in for the main drivers, as sadly, it being the final race of the season, some things are certainly a bit more important for the drivers to be here, as they know that the point system is about as done as it can be. And so opens up places for the reserve drivers to jump in, to just have the final race, maybe even looking to gain a full seat for the next season. As of course, it is still pretty much up and open to be got for the drivers, depending on if they have the pace and also if they manage to get the space. 20 seats only open, as of course F1 seat, of course the F1 grid only has about 20 cars, so only 20 drivers can jump in, and only the best 20 drivers in the league can take this. So the reserve drivers really need to be stepping up the game here to show what they've got to maybe take that spot for next season. As we heard, next season also being quite a big one, being the first season in the new game F1 25 that will appear later on this year. There will be a bit of a big break between these 2 seasons, but enough for the race direction, and also the admins to have a time to set things properly up, as of course that is needed when setting up a new season in a new game.
Of course it is, and not only the break, but also the drivers need to get used to the new game, new physics, new driving actually, because every little change can damage your skills. Every little thing can make you a worse driver, because, well, I do believe F125 will require, I'm so sorry, more precision from the drivers than F124, so it might be quite an issue, and we do have a new pole position for now. It is Petrocam who gained P1 again with time 1:23.383, so much of freeze there, but I believe PFM21 will not just wait for the qualification to end. He will actually maybe try to gain this time back, because it's such a little time. I think he can manage to get that P1, but everything will settle down at the end, I believe.
Interesting, the Red Bulls are slowly dropping down in positions as well. We have a racing ball but around the final corner, so let's have a look if we can get who that is. That is pardon me. That is, here we go. Well, worse than the Serbo starting on the next lap. Hopefully that was a 5-second lap. That was the out lap. Of course, with this little time left, everyone is basically out on track, either doing the hot lap or starting in a hot lap, as we see by the out laps. Only a few drivers have decided to call it a day here, and it's Patrick Miller, of course, one of the two drivers who have a quali ban, and Frankie and Gerardo in the McLaren. So interesting that McLaren and Red Bull have decided to call it here. If they're going out now for qualifying, it's just still be barely too late for them to start their lap, as we can't really see it because of the caution in Sector 3 that is by Aston Martin leaving cars by, but it's about 2 minutes left in the session, and with 2 minutes you can barely do an out lap, and if you manage to start a lap that can count as a lap, but yeah, there we go, now that caution has gone, in 40 seconds, that is not enough to start an out lap. Every driver who's currently on an out lap really needs to take it in now and start it, as we see everything disappear. So let's have a look. It's going to be a Haas first to appear around the final corner. That is Petrocam, who has finished. Then it's going to be a Kick Sauber, who has, one of them has decided to give up. It's also the Red Bull first, pardon me, who's going around the final corner of Diego Sim driver, crosses the line, 5 seconds down. Then is going to be the Racing Bull we were just on, No Sable, just barely down on their time, crosses the final corner, goes through the line, improves by 1 position. Then it's going to be a Mercedes down in 16th, with a 1:26.0, about 3 seconds really slower than pole position, a provisional pole position. So going around the final corner now and backs out of that lap. Then it's going to be a Ferrari of PFM21 running the final corner. Will they improve? Fight for the pole position. They do improve and do go on provisional pole position. And Alpine in the back crosses the line, does improve as well by position. And Haas gives out, but up in front of Mercedes, Ferrari takes it. For now, it's going to be a Williams, but afterwards taking it as well, down in P18, but then gives out on that left. So let's hop on the second Williams. Damage on the front left, on that front wing, missing parts. The Haas was on an out lap, so it did not count. Then it's going to be an Alpine running the final couple corners. Does seem to be in a good lap here around the final corner, but is invalidated, so will not count. I think next it will be a McLaren has given out on their lap. Then it's an Aston Martin down in 16th. Lotus, what do you think is going to shape up in these final moments of qualifying?
I believe not many drivers can jump up for now, but I'm really surprised by Ferrari team, because, well, I've said that maybe he can fight back, but, well, I'm just really impressed that he did it with such a race, just getting 1 minute 23 in 100.01. So that is actually quite amazing to have that much of a gap behind. So I believe this race might be an interesting one. The gaps are a bit big, but somewhere we can see actually small gaps. So maybe some fights can figure out on the track. And I do believe this end of the season will be most exciting and maybe most interesting for the drivers because, well, they do need to fight. Some of the teams have small gaps in the qualifying, so on the standings. I'm so sorry, but well, we'll figure it out in the race.
There we go. So let's run you down the qualifying order for the race. It's PFM 21 starting in first, then Petrocam in the Haas second, Warworth in the Visa Cash App Racing Bull, then Vitalman, Aston Martin in P4, and down P5 is Diego Sim Driver Red Bull. Then in P6, Carl Silva, Kick Sauber in P6, Frankie in the Red Bull P7, Tarcano Gino, McLaren P8, Saturn Penna in the Ferrari, Scuderia Ferrari HP in P9, and no Sebo in the Visa Cash App RB in 10th. And so it's going to be quite an impressive run, as of course the top 6 were separated by barely 1 second, and that is quite nothing with the league here, with a race with qualifying this close. So let's have a look. A few seconds left before the red lights out. Let's have a look what will happen in the front parts of the grid.
You know, I believe Abu Dhabi is Saudi Arabia was today on the real F1, but Abu Dhabi is quite of a hot city, don't you think? So I do believe it is best to drink some water. Even the drivers can drink some water because the bubble of the after party are really managing and really hitting them, I believe. Because, well, it's the last race of the season. They can celebrate now, especially Chris Sniper can celebrate now because, well, he knows he's the champion of the league for this year and the champion for the last F124 season, which is actually a very great title. Will he manage to get the same standing on the F124 5? I don't know, but well, I do believe we will see, and I do believe we will actually. He'll actually manage it because he's a really great driver. He's a really fast driver, and well, he do have a lot of precision.
And so coming to you live now in Abu Dhabi, as we heard quite a hot one. So take your slushies to go, and of course keep your eyes peeled on the front row of the grid. As of course we, your commentators, are here to guide you through the entirety of the race. Will snipers take it in 25? That's a great question. Of course, the only way to know is to wait till it happens. Of course, new drivers can always join in the new game. Also, always open spots for new people to join and show what they're capable of, or maybe old drivers who managed to get their groove into the new game. It's all for the play in the next race season. Of course, let's keep our attention in for F1 24 still here in Abu Dhabi. A couple minutes left. Of course, the drivers are setting their cars up for the strategy, the fuel loads, what tires they start on, when to pit. All is setting up now. And if they also want to change their front wing, as of course park firmware is available applied. So lights turn off for the formation lap, and it is PF in the Ferrari to start off the grid. Then Petrocam, Valward, Vichalman, Diego Simre driver, Carl Silva, Frankie, Tarcano, Saturn Penna, De Nosebo in the top 10.
For now, none of the drivers crashed on the start of the formation lap because, as we know, this actually might happen. It's not the proudest thing for a driver to do, but sometimes things like that do happen on the formation lap. As I remember, it was Brazil, if I remember correctly, Lance Stroll actually crashing on the formation lap.
There's a memory.
Yeah, I do remember how confused I was when I went back from grabbing a drink, seeing a red flag on the formation lap. That was actually pretty funny. But we're here in Abu Dhabi. Such a beautiful circuit, I must say. Such a beautiful scenery around the circuit. I really wish I could be there live and could see every of this car in action live.
It's mostly just a desert around the track.
Yeah, but can the desert be beautiful?
A lot of sand. But
Cats must be going crazy on the deserts, but you know, I do believe deserts have something to them. They are such beautiful. Just the calmness of the sand. Just I cannot think about it. But it must be pretty hot in there, so I must say I would grab my slushy or my water with me because well, standing there must be physically very hard.
Very exhausting indeed. So for Ferrari crosses the final corner, of course weaving around. Let's have a look off the tire strategies here. Mostly mediums, but I'm seeing interesting 3 hard compounds by Vitalian, Moti Pedets and Patrick in the back. So what will go out first? Who will come out in front? Which tires will become the best to start? The front runners have already decided. Oh, there's an S Martin in the wrong spot. Manages to hopefully get it. Oh, very weirdly placed. We can still see that rear wing. But here we go. The lights will turn off any second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. As it's pedal to the metal here in Abu Dhabi for the final time this season. The Ferrari had a bad start. The Haas is already down the inside. Impeccable. Nicely done by Petra Cam in the back of the Ferrari going off as well. Let's have a look around the final first corners. Who will come out first? It's the Haas going a bit wide. Ferrari gets a great run out of turn 2 up to a turn 5 now around the outside. Who will get it back? In the back we have 3 wide as well. Down here, oh dear, looks like a complete car park entering turn 5. No collisions, all clean.
I feel like this beginning of the race is like Grammys going to the church, you know? All the track is close, all the drivers just right behind each other. Oh, what happened there with RB? Well, this turn was really hard because I have actually seen many of the drivers lock up their tires, so now we have a yellow flag in sector 2. That is quite of an issue because the RB driver in 07 is now on P14 while his partner Woolworth is on P2, which is actually pretty weird because PFM 21 had actually dropped down to P4. Well, you've said the race is clean so far. Well, the commentator's curse is one of the things that are working right now. We can see now PFM 21 is trying to gain their positions back, but with gap 1.5, it is pretty hard, I must say. First start Petrocam 131.2 for Haas, so he has still the pole position. Woolworth right behind him. He's waiting for the slightest mistake. He's still waiting for the Haas driver to make some mistakes so he can maybe get something out of it. But now we can see it's only gap going up, not down.
Yeah, Frankie had tried it down inside into turn 5. There was a slight collision as well between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. But look at that with the DS. Down the inside, I didn't make. Oh, getting squished against. Oh dear, what's happening? It's in the back. That's the second Red Bull sending it on the inside. Both Red Bulls go past the Ferrari. Incredible. That was quite a bit of dirty work as well. Albers have been pushed out, but what incredible avoiding there from Frankie. Diego right behind, but look at this. Team orders have been played here. Switch of positions that look to be intentional. The kicks up got past the Ferrari as well, and PF started on pole and dropped down to P7. Another teammate starts as well to put pressure on the right and plate missing the front wing. Is that going to make a big issue to that? There's a Haas going a bit wide in the back. That's all assist. Is Saturn going to try it down the inside? Yes, he does. With the damage, says I don't care, and managed to do it into turn 14. A corner where you usually wouldn't see it, and a corner full of controversy as well. But up in front, the gaps are starting to increase. Petrocam lost it to the racing ball. Valward leads off here in Abu Dhabi.
Really interesting race so far. Just seeing the Red Bull drivers so close to the podium, P4 and P5, well, that is an amazing thing to see. But we have a new leader actually. It's Woolworth from AB. Petrocam has actually a gap of 0.5, so it's pretty far for now, but I think he can manage to get it back.
Oh.
PFM21 has left the session. What has happened, I am not really sure. But I think the AI is driving the car for now, which is very, very weird. Maybe he got disconnected or something. I really
that
hope
was
he
on
gets
purpose.
back.
I believe that was on purpose. That was a rage quit from a Ferrari driver or pole sitter. Made a mistake this lap in turn 1 and dropped all the way down to P16 and called it a day once he noticed that it was just too big of a gap. Of course, sadly, racing is all about patience, but of course emotions can take the best of you and decide to make some indecent behavior, which is in this case just deciding to give up. Of course, there's a chance for them to come back, as I've only left the game. They can always rejoin, but will just lose a much more time. Up in front, certain Penas will now decide to keep the cars behind. The McLaren of Tarkangino looks to get the Haas of no assist, but not quite enough. Of course, 2 DS zones, but this is one of the special tracks where one of the DS zones is not on the start-finish straight. It's after turn 5 and then after turn 7, the 2 long straights. Interesting that that's just how they decided to have it. Yes, there's a yellow flag in the back. That's down in P16. Let's have a look what happened there. That's the Williams, I think, up in front, having made a mistake. And also believe that Alpine has been involved as well. There's no front wing on that car.
Of course, wow, that is very impressive for the driver to drive without a front wing. Yeah, I think we all can see that he has some trouble actually turning the car. PFM21 is back in the game. Well, that is such a weird view to actually see a car without a front wing. Can we get one more shot about this? Because
oh dear! We caught it! The commentator's curse!
What happened there? Another car without a wing. Well,
oh dear!
Oh my goodness!
A lot of drama.
Wings are gone.
Oh dear! Wiping out. Drama is happening, unfolding in front of our eyes here. With the Alpine, with the Mercedes, with the racing, but there's lots and lots of problems happening around, and wings are being deployed everywhere, left, right, and center. Yellow flag up in front. Oh, Tarkangino retires. Got taken out in a safety car. Safety car has been deployed.
This is such a good thing for drivers without a wing, because that is the thing that you can do now. Go to the pit lane and repair your wing. Kat Sliva with 10-second time penalty. But, well, as I said, it is a very good time for the drivers who did think that they can manage to do the race without actually fixing their front wing. This is the time when you can do it. This is the time when you can pit. Of course, it is too early in the race to actually change your tires. Certain drive-through penalty because of spinning under a safety car. Well, this is such a weird thing. Just seeing a safety car rolling out of nowhere because someone did retire from the race. From my point of view, it is always best to actually finish the race even though you have some trouble. It's good to just, you know, get the patience going. Petrocam 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, so that is such a, well, such
penalties. What is going on?
Yeah, well, he actually managed to get the P1 now with a 6-second time penalty. That is just unbelievable. And Kersliva with 13 seconds. I still see this Max Verstappen playing outstanding penalty. It's just, why is there so many penalties going? I don't understand really.
Let's have a look who has gone for a stop. It looks to be the whole grid except for the kicks up of Patrick Meiler and Kamikaze, who started last and second to last. They've taken the gamble to stay out, deciding maybe, and this is a big maybe, a second saver could appear, but of course the drivers who have put it now have no stops ahead of them. The Huts can make it till the end. And of course the drivers who have started on the hards need to have a look now what tires go on to. Let's have a look what tires are across the grid. It is about mostly hards. Of course the Vichalman, the Aston Martin who has started on the hards, had to go into the medium compound. Kamikaze and Patrick are on their usual on the hards and mediums as they started on. And in the back, Moti Perez as well, one of the drivers who has started on the hards, now onto the mediums, and Nosebo also on mediums. Those drivers, you need to keep an eye out on them, as of course, can the mediums make it till the end? It is quite of a long gamble, but it can be quite of a tough one, as of course the mediums can make it, depending on how the driving side. You could maybe look for a puncture near the end of the race. The hard compound runners, they're basically set to go. They could be looking to get it before the end of. They could get their position before the end of the race.
Well, since it is a safety car and nothing's really happening on the race, what do you think about this race so far? Because this is such a philosophical question for now, and nothing's happening. We can actually have a little chit chat.
So here we go, another lap behind the safety. We're waiting for the Aston Martin to catch back up to the grid, and then it's gonna be all back up racing. Of course, viewers don't get a bit of a bad PTSD moment from a safety car in Abu Dhabi after what happened in 21. We have a Red Bull fan in the comments box, and I believe they're not enjoying this view here. But of course, we are in a simulation, and that needs to be remembered.
Well, that's true. I actually cannot understand how Ferrari fans can do this week and week all over again. Not really on the F1 24, but also in the real racing, because, well, as we know, it's really hard time for Red Bull right now. So I've actually asked you a question about what do you think of the race so far, because, well, that's such a philosophical question for now since nothing's happening.
One word: chaos. It has from pole position driver down to P11, from incidents, from wings. I mean, I've seen certain Penner driving without a M plate on the front wing, and sometimes even running with no M plates, of course, left and right, and sometimes even running without a part of the wing. And then in the end, before the safety was called, I think we saw two cars running no wings. Quite of an interesting strategy, I do say so, but I believe as this track, the walls aren't close by, but the close racing can cause a bit of drama. As talking about damage, look at the Williams, who's currently leading off. That what you're seeing there is just a little bit of damage on the right hand side of the car. It is a bit visual, but if you look closely, you might not see much. So let's see what Mitrandir, who hasn't put it either, will do on those 6 lap old mediums. Of course, they might have the grip advantage under the new hards, but once those tires go down the drain, it will be all to nothing. So let's have a look. Williams, take it away.
Of course, this is such an interesting place just to see for this race. I have said that it will be such an exciting place, but I did not see the chaos that was really enrolling through. I believe another driver had retired from the session. Patrick Meyer had retired from Kick Sauber. So, well, as I said, for me it is best to just finish the race, no matter the time or no matter the gap. One of the drivers, I cannot really say that name, 3-second time penalty. Maybe you managed it.
Kotic's the house player.
Yeah. Gerardo.
What of a long name.
Yeah, multiple warnings. I cannot see it on the actually leaderboard for now. It's just like it's all meshing up for me. But well, sometimes we commentators must read such ridiculous nicknames or such long nicknames we cannot manage. So I'm so sorry for that. But well, we are back into racing actually. Von Walter has still pole position and is still a leader of the race. FMP Mitrandir is on P2, and then Petra come with 6-second time penalty still. did certain penalty. Yes, he did do his penalty, his drive-through penalty. I was very interested about that. Of course, the safety car is the best place to do a drive-through penalty because, well, that's not really a penalty then. We can see some of the drivers fighting. That is Aston Martin and Haas really going through no DRS on the start-finish line, as he said. So, just an interesting thing to see that they're really fighting, going through the corners. Aston Martin's really on the back of the Haas, just waiting for the slightest mistake. A little look up from Haas. Aston Martin's going strong, going right behind him, and he opens his DRS and goes through Petrocam right now, getting the third position for now. But who will be faster on the corner? It is with Hammond, with German. Yeah, I don't know what is it with.
There's a Williams off. There's an Alpine off. Pardon me. Alpine off turn 6. Oh, the contact still happening. Ooh. The camera's not helping at all. And what has happened here? That was between the Aston Martin as well. And there we go. We're back on, and that was between the Aston Martin, the Alpine, and the McLaren. But I believe that was a spin by the Totics House player. Now we're back, but that car, the driver seems to have lost a bit of confidence there, losing out. I believe floor damage has been inflicted. So that car will have massive amounts of drag now appearing on for the driving style, and that might be very harsh to say, but that looked to be quite a mistake from them. PFM in the Scuderia Ferrari posted a down in P7, got back the fastest lap. Let's see if they can maybe fight themselves back up the grid after that big mistake in lap 3.
That was such a weird thing to see. They were so close to the wall, almost missing the contact from the wall.
And they've retired. They have retired from the race.
Yeah, they've retired. So maybe the floor damage, as you said. Well, we aren't really sure what happened there, but still, it was best to finish the race. But sometimes it is actually. Sometimes you cannot finish the race because of the technical issues, but well, we can see what is going on behind the wheel of the driver. Unfortunately, what is happening there? Red Bull and PFM21 gaining a position over Williams.
The Williams is round!
It's spin, yeah! It's spin from Williams' driver. He's on a 10th position now, dropping down to 11, 12, 13. He can't make it up now. He was so good into the race. I do believe he will retire soon. He doesn't seem to be moving much. But he is driving. He's driving. I believe he needed some time for himself. Frankly, 3-second time penalty for Red Bull is not very good since they're such a high position. But, well, Petrocam still has the 6-second time penalty. Of course, the drivers can get their penalty removed if that's what the game's mistake, but I don't think there was any mistakes now.
So spin down in P12. That's a Racing Bull out of turn 3. Oh, dear, careful with the rejoin. And no front wing. Something that's been shown this race quite a bit of times. Bit of a tricky track, starting to show just how difficult it actually is. Of course, the track is quite wide, but with the troubles there, with the elevation changes, and of course, car setup plays a huge role. It can always happen, mistakes happen. And here we go, up for the battle for P4 between the two Red Bulls and even the Ferrari of PFM. There we go, around the outside goes Frankie. Can he keep the grip? Can PFM join in on the outside? Now on the inside, yes he does. Diego drops down 2 positions, but who's brave on the brakes? It is Diego. Need a bit of contact between the Ferraris. Between Ferrari and the Red Bull. Let's have a look now. Through turn 15 and 16. The Red Bull got it back off Diego. The Ferrari stove right on that rear diffuser. Going around to find a couple of corners there. Entering the next lap. And with that, Frankie is starting to run away a little bit. PF was fighting him, but now needs to keep an eye on the teammate in turn 1. Can something happen between the Ferrari and the Red Bull? Not quite, but of course Ferrari knows that the air zone, the first air zone of the track is coming up shortly, where they will have the advantage. The Red Bull is about to drop out of the DS zone, but just got it. So we'll stay in there. The Ferrari might have more troubles. Of course, there's no slipstream for the Red Bull. They're too far away from their teammate. And Battery with the ES management can help the Ferrari. Here we go. Entering the DS zone up towards turn 6. There's a yellow flag. There is the Nosebo retiring from the race. Let's have a look. Where will the Ferrari come out? Not enough straight line speed for now.
There's not a good thing to see, just 4 drivers leaving the race, 2 of them DNF, 1 LB, 1 Alpine, 1 kicks up, and 1 McLaren. Of course, it is a good thing that not a whole theme is disqualified, but still, well, it is the last race. And on this track, I do believe you need to have trust for your car. You need to know that your car will manage and your car will go onto your competition, go with you, because it's not you driving the car I can say drives you and the car are one. So it's really now all the drivers, Red Bull going off the track. That is for sure track limit for now. They don't seem to have any penalty for this time, but well, 2 more and you can get penalty.
The Ferrari has made up the position to Diego and is leaving the eyes on to the next Red Bull. Here we go. This is going to be an easy done overtake with the help of the AS up towards turn 6. Done nicely, no struggles, but entering the next straight, the Red Bull will have the DS as the detection zone is right after the corner here, turn 7. Entering turn 8, here we go now. Will the Ferrari have a lot of overlap? It looks to be just enough. Entering the hairpin of turn 9, and so the Ferrari has cleared both Red Bulls and now set their eyes up to Petrocam, who has a 6-second time penalty. So PF is on paper back onto the podium, but it will probably not be enough to catch to Vichalman and Walward up in front. Of course, Walward has done a beautiful race so far. We're more than halfway through. He's got a 3-second gap to the Aston Martin behind, and the Aston Martin just does not seem to be just fast enough to keep up. But up in the back, we have a battle for P7. There's a penalty for PRL Motipedet, but following the Williams, the Kicksauber and the Haas. 3-way battle, so who will come out in front?
I do believe racing is really surprising at times, so who will come out of front? Well, we'll see at the end. We're almost halfway through the race, so in some time we'll manage to see, because, well, I do believe Woolward is really talented driver too. He hasn't driven much this season, but seeing from now 3.4 second gap, it's just amazing to see. Has really close to the Williams driver. They didn't make any contact, but that was very close, almost centimeters. I really can believe that you can put only a paper card between the drivers. But well, I'm really surprised also that there isn't the main Kicksauber driver. Andrew isn't here, so that is not exciting news. I was really hoping to see him there.
Go now to Kicksauber, gaining time on no assist. They switch positions on the back straight, entering the final part of the track. Entering the next lap, here we got a start-finish line. Crossing will be the Haas to cross off first. So Williams has a bit of end plate damage. The front left is missing, but it doesn't seem for them to be struggling too much. A bit of understeer though, seeing them into turn 1, gone over the white lines, but managed to not get a penalty there. We don't know how many warnings there are, and of course 3 warnings, then you're out with a strike, meaning a penalty. But the Kicksauber goes right now. I'd say this is a smart move. They've gone over the S line. I believe the Kicksauber was just behind when that happened. Who will open it? Yes, who has got it? It is nobody. None of the 2 drivers got it, and now it's Williams, surprise third party, joining in. Oh dear, virtual safety car. A virtual safety car has been deployed for the Red Bull. Frankie is out of the race. There he is.
Many parts on the track for now. We cannot really do a red flag here, but if it was a real race, I think this would be really a red flag, because I could see a tire then on the track. I don't know if you had managed to see that. That was pretty impressive. And Karistava drive-through penalty, and we are off driving. Wallboard still the leader of the race. Frankly, did get a DNF for now. So it's 5 drivers now with a DNF, 15 on the track. Well, that is few drivers. Oh, what happened there? Karistava almost getting in contact with the wall, getting into the pit lane. You really must watch where you drive. Has going off the track, so I do believe many drivers have lost their comfort with the car, seeing that many incidents, that many drivers just retiring from the race. Yeah, puncture from Alpine. Will they drive to the pit lane? Will they manage? They did. Wow, what happened there?
Debris could have been part of the debris. Out of turn 6, that virtual safety car was not enough. They should have called out a full safety car, and the Alpine was sadly part of the drama there. Gone over the debris, got a front left puncture. Now they're dropping down Multipaddles. He was running for a good P8 and now drops out of the points. Disappointing to hear, but of course there's still so many laps yet to go. Of course there's still a lot of drama that can happen over in the race. A driver who has gotten a lot out of this is the Ferrari of PFM. He was 3 seconds down into the Haas, now it's 1.5. Rich Alman goes into the pit lane. Let's have a look how many stops have gone for now. And that is Rich Alman's first stop there, if I'm not mistaken. So he drops down, Petrochem goes back up to P2, and PFM is now into safe P2 as well, if we see it say on paper, but P3 here on track. Will they maybe even manage to catch the Racing Bull? Look at the minimap, they're nearly halfway over the main straight. Well, they just entered it now. That's 5.6 seconds, a lot of time. If you count it in racing terms, of course 5 seconds don't go by quite fast if you just count them. But we need to count that these cars go around speeds of 300 kilometers an hour. 5 seconds is a lot of time.
Yeah, I must say, I believe Forward is now watching maybe some YouTube video, or maybe watching some of the races F1 did today, maybe practices, because 5.6 seconds, it's amazing. It's just, I cannot believe this driver who hasn't driven that much this season managed to get this time. Just, he's out of this league. He's literally out of this league. Driving that fast and that cautious precision, with such a precision. Well, that is just such a good thing to see. But PFM 21 is getting closer and closer to Petrochem. Just maybe a little less than a whole second there. Do we have any close fights? Infinity from Williams going after no assist. A little bit of the track there. But will he manage? No DRS from the start finish line. He tried to dive in, but that did not succeed. Will he try and overtake? No, he's waiting for an attack, and right behind him is Aston Martin, just waiting, just watching what will happen between these two drivers. Because, well, when two drivers are fighting, you can really gain a position from there, and that happened for the Aston Martin, getting P5 and now overtaking Haas driver. Will he manage? He did. I haven't seen it from that angle, but yes, he did. Petrochem must be really not happy, must be really disappointed from this one, but he's still attacking, overtaking the Aston Martin, but really outside turn there, and he did lose his position. Oh, Aston Martin off the track. Captain Teamless is over the track. No safety car for this one, but is his front wing in pole? I'm not really sure.
It's damage on that Aston Martin of Captain Teamless. Has spun around turn 5 on the exit. Of course, a massive grip zone after it happened like that. Disappointing to see that. Sadly, he has lost it there. Currently up in fourth battle place, that is Vichalman. Of course, they have gone into pit lane, now entering one with P2 with the hard compounds. I've gone to the medium compounds. The fastest compound currently on track. Of course, softs are just too soft to be racing for now. There's a Williams. There's a Williams completely off. That is Mitrandir gone into the runoff, but fully into it. What has gone there? Was there a big issue? Has it got collision? What has happened? The stewards are gonna have a look at that one after the race, but they rejoin behind in last place, but about 30 seconds down. But going back to topic that was on before, Retirement gone for a late stop back onto the medium compound to go for fast laps now, and maybe see if they can go back onto the podium. 16 seconds gap to Petrochem, of course, with a 6-second penalty. It's only 10. They need to gain a second a lap to be just behind Petrochem, and with that could maybe gain himself that podium back. But they could also aim for the fast lap as they've done before. There's also a bit of a battle going on in the back, but I believe that is, pardon me, not in the, that is between the kicks on the Red Bull. Caution sector 3, there is an Alpine going to the pit lane. Pardon me, that's Vitrandir retiring from the race. And there is another retirement. We have 6 retirement in this race in Abu Dhabi. Of course, it's been the season finale. There's not much to run for. Oh, the kicks up. I get squirmy on the exit of turn 15. Turn 14, pardon me. That was incredibly nasty, but they managed to get the car back facing the right way, and that lost them a lot of time to Diego, which they were just barely fighting, entering a turn 9, and now a big gap between the two.
Of course, that is not a good thing to see on the race. We have 9 laps to go, so we're really at the end of the race. Just so many drivers off the track. Sorry, I need to do the maths here. 6 drivers off the track. I'm not really a math person, but Williams without the side wing on the left side. That is such a nothing to see. Such. Well, I think he'll have some troubles just turning the car. As we see here, not very sharp corners he can make. As driver is trying to make the best out of his car and overtake the Williams driver, which will not be too dangerous, but there is a little bit of the contact between them, as we could see. Just going as fast as driver can, no assist, really wants to take back his place from Infinity.
Oh dear.
And yeah.
That is not how you take the final corner. The house is starting to crumble under pressure. Of course, Infinity is showing what the car can do, even with that front left damage on that wing. Well, of course, being calm is the main part of racing, and rubbing, as we saw before, out of turn 9, rubbing is racing as well, depending on how heavy the collision is. The stewards can have a look at some collisions, but sometimes they just say they are just racing. This is what hard racing is. This is what it's all about. But in the back, Red Bull's Ferrari is starting to brew up a little bit between Diego Sim driver and Satin Penna. The Red Bull is in the DS zone, so let's see. Let's have an onboard look how fast this Red Bull is. There we go, incredible speeds. 335 kilometers an hour, gets the Ferrari no trouble at all, and goes back past, but oh D, missing the braking point, completely goes off the track, cuts the corner, but doesn't get a penalty, but needs to give back the position. That's definitely a legal overtake. Yes, it is, and Satin Penna goes back in front. Diego completely misjudged that braking point into turn 6 by a mile, but managed to keep it slightly together. Sadly, that means that the position that they gained before the braking zone will be gone and dusted, so they need to do all that over again.
It's such an unfortunate thing to say. Well, the Red Bull driver had it in his pocket, but then he got too much into racing. That's sadly what happens for the for many inexperienced drivers, they are really into the race and really want to make that overtake that they forget about the braking point. That's sadly what happened there. Or maybe his wheel got disconnected. That's what happened for Alonso, which is really hilarious. I don't know why this even happened on the F1 car. But well, maybe that's what happened. We cannot judge because we didn't see it. Still Woolworth on the pole position, still he's the leader by 7.3 seconds. Can you believe that? I believe he's watching Netflix or something right now. He could break his pillow and just dream about blue skies right now because, well, if nothing happens, he's winning the race. So sorry about this plate. Well, the DRS for the Red Bull is opening. Right behind them we can see Sauber, Karislava with time penalty, and Diego Racer gets the position, but he finds the car really well.
Oh, they double snap there.
Oh my goodness, what happened there? It's only 6 laps all of the tires. What's happening right there? The car isn't holding up really well.
That was quite of a sketchy turn 9. The Red Bull was absolutely fighting their car. And gets a penalty! Entering the second to final corner. Gone too wide there. The car is absolutely not driving how they wanted. Oversteer, entering, then understeer. Welcome back for a Ferrari F14T. It's just what I have to say, but that penalty gives Sertan Penna that position quite easily. But with this, that's interesting. That was quite a surprise turn of events. The Red Bull, with their teammates having retired after a huge collision, that was just on their hopes to get a lot of points for the Red Bull. But now, Sertan Penna and the Ferrari could gain it back. But 18 lap-old tires, hard tires, they could still be about in the green, but they are starting to wear out quite fast. You only have 5 laps to go in this race. Walworth just having a cup of tea up in front. He's absolutely decided to not be part of this race. It's all on him. There's a car going into the pit lane. There is an Aston Martin. I believe it's going to be retirement there as well. No, still staying there. No, it's on the pit lane. It's on the start-finish straight. And no wing.
Many drivers without a wing, and Captain is one of them. Will he actually manage to finish the race? I'm not really sure. Karislava, 3-second time penalty for now, and as we see, he's really going off the track. Well, driving without a wing can be kind of stressful, but fortunately in sim racing you can get a training without a wing, so you know how to drive the car that has some issues, some even punctures, because well, it's all about your calmness and all about the braking points, feeling, really getting into the car. Just, well, not only feeling but knowing your car and what the setup is and what you can do with this setup. The only driver with soft tires, Karislava. Do we have any fights there? Williams seems to be fighting. 0.3 second gap for no assist and Infinity.
These two are still duking it out on track. They have not left each other at all the entirety of the race, and two drivers have decided to go back to the pits for fresh tires. Silva has gone with the gamble onto the soft compound, while Sertan Penna has gone to the mediums. Which tire will make it? Which tire will go for the fastest lap, but will still manage to make it till the end of the race. Silva could be looking to get the fastest lap, but could struggle to maybe get it till the end with a good car. Of course, they could fight that Ferrari as well. They're really close together as well between the Sauber and the Ferrari. Look at the minimap. Entering sector 3, the Mercedes up in front, also not far at all. Certain isn't at the zone, but let's have a look still here between the Williams and the Haas of no assist. The Williams still running with that damage. They've been running with that since basically the start of the race. They've decided, even after pit stops, to not repair said damage, but that could help with a bit of straight lane speed, as of course less downforce, meaning less less straight line speed disadvantage, but of course still drag being hit on the tire. It does the game simulate that? At this point I might question that, but meaning that Williams could be going for a lot of straight line speed here, and this could be the advantage that they'd be looking for to stay with the Haas or even get the Haas driver. But back up into P9, that is Sainz Petr getting the Mercedes, and Casiva getting a bit of traffic for their fastest lap. This could struggle for them to maybe gain the time that they want for the fastest lap.
Of course, we are slowly ending this race with only 3 laps to go, so not very much to unfold now, and Infinity is really close to no assist, just trying to get everything out of these 3 laps. But, well, will he manage? I believe drivers do not feel comfortable right now in their position. Just seeing all the incidents, all the DNFs on their leaderboard. Woolward still is on the leader side. Just amazing to see him, but I am really impressed by that. BFM 21 getting 2.6 second gap to Petrocam. All the gaps are really big right now. Karislava to Kamikaze. Unfortunately, Karislava has a penalty. Can we actually see how many penalties have the drivers?
Let's have a look here on the... It's about 3 seconds over about the ball, but of course some have gotten more. Here we go, an overtake between the Williams and the Haas. Oh, this takes it back. We might have missed our Williams going back by. But this by for P5 just is staying on. 3 laps left in the race. Warwood has had crossed the line. So let's see out of these two who might get the P5, but also in the back between Saturn and Kamikaze. Of course, Kasiva is just between, but with a 9-second penalty, that will go nowhere. So Kamikaze is in safe P9, but it is battle between these two. These two are just duking it out. They are not leaving each other at all. Entering turn 1, the Williams in the back. The Haas goes a bit defensive into turn 1. Managed to get the position. Blinks. That means his battery is being saved. Here we go. Turns on the battery. Looking through turn 3. Nicely down turn 4 now. It's flat around here. Entering to happen. Will there be a scent? Not yet. The Williams stays behind. Goes a bit wide to Haas. The Williams goes for a good exit. And now comes the DS. Kasiva goes for the fastest lap. But here, staying on board with the Williams. Lost a bit of time. Weaving, not taking that slipstream, but I think that's on purpose to stay behind for the second DS zone. Looks for the inside, makes himself visible. Now entering turn 6. Nicely kept by the Haas, but will they keep it for entering the next straight? Here we go now. DS will be again available for the Williams. They are showing for the inside while the Haas goes to break the slipstream on the outside. Entering turn 9. Not enough straight line speed for the Williams so far. Will they manage to stay behind and stay in the DS? This is going to be crucial because the Williams could be looking to gain a position up in the back for P8. There is a lot of drama going on with the back marker of the Aston Martin staying in between the Ferrari and the Kick Sauber.
2 laps to go actually with Bullward and 7.5 cap. I cannot stop saying this because, well, can we actually get a shot of him, because he hasn't been shown that much, and I do think he really deserves that. You can see no cars ahead or behind him. Just how amazing is that, having a free track ahead of you, driving, chilling, maybe listening to some music. Or if you don't like it, then no. Just how much would you pay for that experience, to be honest, on the race?
These drivers, they are now, I believe I saw a yellow flag for the Haas, slowing down to maybe start some DS battles with the Williams. And with Warwood starting the final lap of the race, there is no more time for the Williams to look for an opportunity. The Williams need to start trying everything on their power, getting every ace up their sleeve. Here we go, turn 9. I still can't get over the fact that this has happened now, but now exiting This is incredible. These two are still on each other. The Williams weaving left and right to look for any open spaces. Entering the second, for the second final time, the final sector. Entering turn 14. And now through the two right-handers, 15. Then followed by turn 16. The Williams stays behind. There's no time between them. Not even a car length between them. Entering the final lap of the race. The Williams looks for everything. Sends their car. Not enough. Goes back behind. Two more D'Essons to save themselves. Who will get it? Who will come out in front? Who will get that P5? Who will get those crucial points? Entering turn 5 for the final time. The Williams late brakes. Locks the front left. Stays behind for now. Has the DS. Is very close. Uses everything in that battery tank. On the final straight. Goes for the inside. The Williams goes by. Look at the straight line speed advantage they have. Runs out of battery just before turn 6. Locks up. Is the Haas just behind? Close enough behind. We missed it. Warwood wins in Abu Dhabi for the final race here. The Ferrari of PFM gets P2. Petrocam P3. Richarman was not fast enough to gain the time on Petrocam and gets P4. Who will get P5? It could be the Williams. Entering turn 11. Now through turn 12. The Williams has a huge gap. And with that, is safe. Entering turn 13 and 14. Nicely done. He's played every card in the sleeve correctly. Look at the gap. The Haas has lost him. And now through the final corner, the Williams crosses the line to get P5. And so the Haas for P6 just behind.
Your voice was really crashing there, but I am not surprised by that because this race has been amazing. Not all the drivers have finished, but the thing was just amazing to watch, and I do believe we can say some things at the end of the race. Well, it's been really nice, and we can say Captain Diniz is showing off his skills with the front wing now, but well, it's been such a good race. It's been such a pleasure to be with you drivers, to be with you, to anyone who's watching now, and to be with you, Captain Foxy, because as you know, it is always a pleasure to commentate with you, and it's always just a great time spending with you on the track always.
I can only say those words back, but careful, yes, Martin here saying to become a danger on track. Oh dear, collision! Every tires from the race! And that is Captain Tinus's end of the season, going out in a boom, and that is meant literally as the Ferrari takes him out. And that wasn't even the driver, that was the AI taking him out, having said that's enough. And I can just say those words back, Lord. So it's nice having you in the comments box with me for this season. I'm looking forward to seeing you next season in F1 25. But with that, let's have a look for the final podium celebration between the Cash App, the Ferrari and the Haas. And then it's going to be it for the broadcast here in Formula Cockpit Racing League. It was fun being alongside for you viewers and with you lotters for this spectacular season. And congratulations to Mercedes, congratulations to the drivers as well. And let's have a look, and let's look forward to the next season in this fantastic league.
Well, I think we can officially be waiting for the standings, but I'm pretty sure the Mercedes have won the Constructors' Championship, as well as Chris Sniper and Andrew, position 1, position 2 on Drivers' Championship. Congratulations for you both. Pier Francesco, I believe, has the 3rd position, but of course we will need to wait for the official results.
With that, it is goodbye. And before I do say goodbye, we have something still about to happen. We have interviews about to have going on here. I believe who will be the first drivers to join into the interviews channels. I'm gonna have to have a look. Not many drivers here. Let's see. This is a quick improv thing here, so it might be a bit weird. Let's see who will join for interviews. Let's ask before. Here we go. So let's have a look if we might have interviews for, of course, a finale here, and with that, maybe even an exciting talk for our drivers. Sadly, of course, some drivers on the championship are missing for this race, so we might not be able to come interview them, but it will be no big issue. We will hopefully see them in the next season. Let's have a wait till we get a response, and if we have none, this could be it for season 4 of the F1 Cockpit Wheel Racing League.
I believe it was such an impressive season. It was such a great time to be there. I have been so pleased with all of the commentary that I did, and all of the commentary that I did with you, because you are not here from the start of the season. But still, it was such a great time. I always get so emotional when it comes to season ends. I believe you did hear me on our endurance race there. Wow, it's just such an amazing thing to see, just seeing how the drivers evolve, seeing how they train, and it's just amazing.
I believe we're not getting any responses, so it might be the end of the season here. So sadly, it will end with no interviews. But with that, we have to say goodbye, and have a good break, have a good rest, and we hope to see you all viewers in for the next season. Any final words, Lotus?
Oh, I don't want to get too emotional, but yeah, have a good rest and remember to train to get the muscle memory, and well,
And don't forget the
see you in another.
slushies.
Yeah, and get the slushies, but don't over drink them because your tummy might be aching too much. But make the best out of the summer break that you have now. So goodbye and have a great rest.
Goodbye.